Hello friends, today we will study about XML and HTML, differences between XML and HTML. Basically XML nowadays is getting used in most of the web pages, and we will need it in coming sessions of Selenium. So that's why this is a small brief about what is XML, what is HTML, and what's the difference between HTML and XML. So let's go ahead with it. XML is an acronym for Extensible Markup Language. XML is acronym of Extensible Markup Language. So basically XML is a markup language. It is much like HTML. HTML is basically static language which is used to display data. So HTML is all about look and feel, where XML is a dynamic language which is used to carry data or to transfer data from one endpoint to another endpoint. So XML is not a display language. So you can see XML was designed to carry data, not to display data. XML tags are not predefined. So user must define his own tags. As in, user can define his own tags as per his convenience, whereas HTML has a predefined tags. So you cannot go and create your own tags. XML is designed to be self-descriptive. XML is just like a document basically. A web page is treated as a document. So XML is language for that particular document. So that's why it is said as extensible markup language. And XML is W3 recommendation. So if you want to know more about XML and HTML, you can always visit website w3cschools.com. So you can get the XML details, what are various programming aspects of XML, how to declare any tag, how to use operators and operational operators and mathematical operators, etc., going on w3cschools.com, which is a very common website nowadays. So let's go ahead with the difference between XML and HTML. As said, HTML is designed to display data, so it is all about look and feel, whereas XML is designed to transfer and store data. So XML is for the transferring or carrying of data from one point of the network to another point. HTML is markup language, whereas XML is a framework for defining markup language. So you can say that XML is a superset of all the markup languages because it is giving a framework for defining markup languages. HTML is a presentation language. As I said, it is about look and feel about a web page, how a web page should look and feel, how the data should be displayed on web page. So it is a presentation language, whereas XML it's not a presentation language nor a programming language, because you cannot program using it. It is just like for carrying data from one part of the network to another part of the network. So like it is how secured your data will depend upon your XML when you are transferring the data from one side of the network to the another side of the network. HTML, its own predefined tags. It has its own predefined tags. HTML, if you use any tags other than which are not defined, then it will give us an error. Whereas XML do not have any predefined tags. You can create your own tags, and XML gives you that freedom to have your own tags or define your own tags. HTML is about displaying data, so it is static. So most of the time now HTML is not at all in use, but just to give an idea that it is just about displaying the data, hence it is static. There are more good markup languages now which are available, which are most dynamic in nature. So HTML is nowadays not used that much, but still, just to give an idea, we are just throwing some light on HTML. XML is carrying information, hence it is dynamic. It has to be dynamic because we are transferring data or carrying data from one endpoint to another endpoint, or from source to target. So that's why XML has to be dynamic. HTML, it is not required to close all the tags. Some elements, even if you miss the tags, still it will work fine. If you miss to close those tags, still HTML will work fine. But in XML, this is a thumb rule that each opening tag must have a closing tag associated, as it will give an error. So that's why all elements must have closing tag in XML. Now let's have a look at an XML document. As you can see, XML version is equals to 1.0, encoding ISO 88591. So first of all, the starting of any XML documents come with its version and encoding standard, whatever you are using, etc. There are some more information which you can add, but version is the first and important thing. So here, if you'll see, question mark XML version is equals to 1.0, encoding is equals to ISO 88591. So this particular line is telling us that we are using XML version 1.0 and we have a encoding standard of ISO 88591, which is some Western European UT set. Next tag is note. Now, as I said, user can have their own predefined tags in XML. So instead of note, even if you write something else like name, for example, or test, still XML parser will still XML in XML this is acceptable. So note is the first tag. This is the root tag in a document. So the very first tag is the root tag. After that comes all other elements. So note will be the root tag. After that we have two ABC from XYZ, heading reminder, body don't forget me this weekend. So this is basically a total XML document wherein note is root element. These are child elements: to, from, heading, body. All these are child element. So that's how a typical XML document looks. Here we have given, this is basically a note to ABC is as an example from some XYZ, and heading is reminder, so don't forget me this weekend is the body of that reminder, and thus the total note is presented in an XML document. If you see, if you examine it, you will able to see that every tag has a ending tag as well. So it is, as I said, XML, all elements must have ending tags. So for to, there is an ending tag. To ending tag you just forward slash and then the rest of the tag name. Similarly for from element, it also has an ending tag. So this is a typical XML document. One thing to remember is XML is always case sensitive. So if you will write note in caps and another note in small, XML will give an error. So if you'll write something like this, will give us an error. So just remember that XML is case sensitive language. Now let's see. Next slide. Next slide is same. It is just describing that note is root element, to, from, heading and body are child elements. There are there could be child to child as well. So it's like same as a tree structure kind of a thing. So basically XML document form a tree structure. Sorry, there is a spelling mistake over here. It's not from, it's form. So basically XML document, whenever you will create a structure out of those tags, it will create a tree structure. So let's see this by an example, how basically XML tree structure look like. This is basically an XML document tags which have been written. So as you can see, bookstore is the root node. This is root node. After that comes the child node, which is book category. Under book category, again this book category has sub child node, which is title lang is equals to English, everyday Italian and title closed. So what you want this language to be English, so we have given the attribute of this particular title node or title element an attribute as English. So language basically is an attribute of element title. So bookstore is the root element, then book category is the next element. In book category we have some sub elements like title, author, year, price. Now in title, language is an attribute of element title. So this language attribute we have set to English. So whenever, if we will say if it is French, so it will display the equivalent French, it should display the equivalent French title for that. Here as in we have set language attribute as English, so it will show everyday Italian, that is the title of that particular book category, which is cooking. Okay, so basically a category is again an attribute for book element. So that's how we have like structured a total XML document in a form of tree. So let's read this elements one by one and then let us see the equivalent tree structure of that XML document. So bookstore, as I said, bookstore is root element. Then we have book category, which is sub element of root element or child element of root element bookstore. So book category here is cooking. Title is everyday Italians, whose title's attribute is set to English. Language attribute is set to English. Author is another element of book category, which is again a child element of element book category. So author is Giaria de Laurentiis. Again year is 2005 and price is 30. So that's how a typical book element tag is represented. Similarly, we will go ahead with another book category, which is category is children. So book is basically our title, category is attribute, and that attribute is set to children. Again, all the things similarly are set for category children, that is title, author, year and price. And the last category as it is shown is book with category web and title, author, year, price, and book element is closed. So book element tag is closed. As you can see, for each and every element tag we have a closed element tag as well. So this book is closed here. This is also closed here, and similarly all other. Now let's have a look at tree structure of this particular XML document. So this is a tree structure for the last XML document which we have just gone through. Let's see how this looks. For easiness purpose, I have just copied it. As you can see, bookstore is our root element. So its parent, bookstore is the parent. Then element book is the child for root element bookstore. Now this book has attribute. Okay, so attribute is category. Similarly, book has another child elements which are title, author, year, price. Title and author are siblings. Okay, all other elements are also called as siblings. This element title has an attribute lang which we have set to English EN as always, and then text is everyday Italian. Text is for author this. For this text is 2005, and so on and so forth. So this is our typical XML tree structures look. Now let's go ahead with one simple XML example. A typical XML, if you will see, if I'll double click or just I'll open it with Firefox. See how it looks. See. So note, as you can see, our the very first example, we have given note. Note was our root element or parent element, and then there are child elements as date, to, from, heading, body, and that is how a typical XML document is prepared. Similarly, we can prepare a new document. Basically, how you prepare an XML document is you open a notepad or even a text document will do. You'll just open it. Note. It will be I want to give message. I want to end that message and end that note. Okay, and I will save this. Just remember to change the extension to XML. And now if you'll open it, this is a message. Note, message, hello everyone. Note, ended. If I by chance say will not end any of the tag properly, XML should give error. So let's see if it gives or not. I am opening it with Notepad. Okay, I am not ending this message tag over here properly. Save it. Close it. See, it has given error because we have not ended the message tag properly. So Internet Explorer is giving us this message that XML page cannot be displayed. End tag node does not match the start tag message. So you have got an error over here. Now let's have a look at HTML page. This is a HTML page which is created. Now as I said, HTML is a static language. It is just with the presentation. So basically it's nothing but presenting your document in HTML format. So let's see how does it look. This is a typical HTML. So I have just written something like this text is bold, this text is strong, this text is big, this text is emphasized, so on and so forth. Now let's see how this HTML actually is written. Basically, again you can open this particular HTML page in Notepad. We'll open it in Notepad. You will see this is doc type HTML, HTML body. So this is paragraph which should be in bold, paragraph which should be in strong, big, emphasized, italic, small. That's all. So let's see now, but the in HTML you should remember that these are predefined tags, so these are not user defined tags. So P here stand for a phrase or paragraph, B is for bold, so we want this paragraph in bold type, so P bold, so P starting tag, B bold tag, this text is bold, and then ending. So if you will not use B, this text won't look bold. Okay, so let's see how, if I'll use anything other than B, like something XYZ or something for an example. So this this won't be interpreted by HTML, and it should give an error, because that is not a predefined tag. Let's see if we can do this. Again, we will create a notepad or text document. Edit it. Let's see, we have head to tell that this is the start of the head, and we have body. Okay, then we want it to be paragraph to be bold, so we will write it bold. This is demo, and then we will end bold tag, and then end paragraph tag, will end body first, and then head first. This is how a simple HTML document will look. I'll save this. We'll change the extension to HTML. And then double click it. This is demo. Okay, now if I say change something which is not predefined tag by HTML, then it should give me an error. So suppose, sorry, I opened it in Word document, really sorry for that. I have to open it in Notepad. This is demo, and if I write here anything ABC, which is not any predefined tag by HTML, so let's see what it gives. Control S, I have saved it, close it, and then again open it. See, so because ABC is not understood by HTML, which is not a predefined tag, of course, so simple text is showing this is demo. So that's it for XML and HTML. Thanks.